Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council to order for December 15th, 2016 at 8 p.m. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Here.
Churdo.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Giandomenico.
Here.
Work.
Here.
Bonsino.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening, coming out in the cold weather and joining us. Could everybody please stand for a prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliverance so that our decisions will always please you and bring your peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks,
Mr. Kaczmarek?
I didn't even look, I just turned to the side.
Mayor will move on to the
Yeah.
statement of compliance.
Whereas Chapter 231 of Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a revised meeting notice in the Record and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1st, 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision, Channel 77, on Tuesday at 12 p.m., Thursday at 4 p.m., and Friday at 10 a.m. The video is also available on the borough's website at www.elmwoodparknj.us. Mr. Kaczmarek?
Mayor, this evening, under the approval of minutes, we have the November 3rd, 2016 Joint Governing Body and Library Board minutes and December 8th, 2016 Executive Session minutes.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
Vansino and Caramagna. Any discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Churdo.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Giandomenico.
Yes.
Work.
I would have to abstain from November 3rd, but I'll say yes to December 8th executive session.
Thank you. Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under ordinances, we have two ordinances on second reading. We'll start with Resolution 414-16, introduce ordinance 16-22 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Fix the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for calendar year 2016, and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 30th, 2016, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Fix the Salaries, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for calendar year 2016 pass on final reading." Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Vansino?
Second.
Churdo? Does anyone in the public care to comment on this ordinance? If not, then I close the public portion. May I have a motion for the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Dombrowski and John Domenico. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Churdo.
Yes.
Catamagna.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Giandomenico.
Yeah.
Work.
I have to abstain since I was not here for the introduction of this ordinance.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, Mayor, also on second reading tonight, we have Resolution 415-16, introduce ordinance 16-23 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 3, thereof entitled Police Regulations," and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Wednesday, November 30th, 2016, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 3, thereof entitled Police Regulations," pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open this to the public?
So moved.
Dombrowski?
Second.
Vansino? All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion?
Actually, yes, Mayor. Just to let everybody know, passing of this ordinance will allow, we've had multiple residents come up and talk about noise coming over from Patterson, and this would allow us now to have a ticket being drawn in Patterson and then having them come to the Elmwood Park Court. Whereas before they had to go to Patterson, and Patterson's law, as we understand it, has to have a decibel reading of X. I'm not exactly sure what that decibel number was, to be honest with you, but there's not a police officer in Patterson and/or Elmwood Park that walks around with a decibel meter. So when it gets to court, it gets thrown out in Patterson. Well, our ordinance change doesn't have a decibel reading. As long as it is a nuisance, they have to come to the Elmwood Park Court. So we're hoping that this will curb the situation of the music coming across from Patterson.
Does anybody in the audience care to speak on this? If not, I'll close the public portion. A motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Dombrowski and John Domenico. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Churdo,
Yes.
Catamagna,
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Domenico.
Yes.
Work.
Abstain, was not here for the introduction of that ordinance.
Vansino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 416-16, payment of bills, Resolution 417-16, payment of escrow, Resolution 418-16, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 419-16, authorize current estimate number 6 and final change order number 3 for the Market Street Force Main improvements, Resolution 420-16, authorize current estimate number 4, Market Street Streetscape Phase 2, Resolution 421-16, authorize current estimate number 2 and change order number 1, Boulevard Improvements, Section 8, 9, and 10. Resolution 422-16, resolution to authorize a change order number 1 and current cost estimate number 2 and final for the 2015 road program. Resolution 423-16, resolution supporting the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2016 year-end crackdown. Resolution 424-16, authorize release of engineering escrow to R.J. Trowinski Development Corp. Resolution 425-16, resolution to release a road opening performance bond to Prakash Patel. Resolution 426-16, resolution approving participation in New Jersey's Safe and Secure Communities Program. Resolution 427-16, resolution to remove open balances and refund taxes paid of exempt veteran Joseph Saletto. Resolution 428-16, resolution to remove open balances and refund taxes paid of exempt veteran Lee Bigby. Resolution 429-16, resolution to refund credit balances on property tax accounts. Resolution 430-16, redeem third-party tax lien, 160 Miller Avenue. Excuse me. Resolution 431-16, resolution to SG premium of third-party tax lien, 333 East 54th Street. Resolution 432-16, resolution establishing policies for accident reporting of borough property and vehicles. Resolution 433-16, resolution to remove the deputy municipal clerk's position from the white-collar, blue-collar organization to department head non-union salary, employee salary ordinance for Barbara Despodo. Resolution 434-16, transfer of funds. Resolution 435-16, resolution canceling balances of completed general capital fund improvement authorizations. Resolution 436-16, cancellation of water utility capital fund improvement authorization. Resolution 437-16, resolution requesting approval of item of revenue and appropriation in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-87, which is a Chapter 159 insertion of revenue. Resolution Resolution 438-16, resolution regarding Chief Feligno and the Elmwood Park PBA contract amendment relative to terminal leave. Resolution 439-16, resolution to the execution of an order of provisional authorization and designation of an acting municipal court administrator between the municipality of the Borough of Elmwood Park and the municipality of Lyndhurst. And Resolution 440-16, a resolution to improve this consent agenda.
Motion to approve said.
So moved.
Vancino, Dabrowski. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Catamania?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Domenico?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Vancino?
Yes.
Motion carries. And Mayor, under applications this evening, we have the Elmwood Park Patterson Elks Lodge 60 50/50 raffle application.
Motion to accept application.
So moved.
Dombrowski,
Second.
Churdo. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Catamania?
Yes.
Churdo?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Domenico?
Yes.
Work?
I may have to say I'm an elk.
Vancino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, that concludes my portion of the agenda.
Okay, council reports. Let's start off to the left, Mr. Caramagna.
Thank you.
One more
Thank you,
time.
Mayor. Tonight, I have very bad cold, and I came here because I think it's gonna be my last public meeting for the year. I'll probably see you some other time, sooner. The homeowner, we had a Christmas party December 7th in the Woodland Park. There were some comments. Why do we have out of town? By the way, this homeowner Christmas party was for everyone who want to join us. I invite everyone. I invite Democrats, Republican, Independent. Everyone was welcome. It has nothing to do with politics or political party. I went then to Woodland Park, shopped in Elmwood Park, and for the price we got there, and for the food we got, was an excellent price and food. Here would be cost more, and availability was not really at the right time. The next meeting for homeowner will take place on January 25th at the Recreation Center. We have a guest speaker, will be Roy Rigatano, our CFO. As I said, this will be educational meetings. Roy Rigatano will explain how the tax money will be dispersed. The amount to go to school, to the county, to the library, and how much money we need to run the government here at City Hall. So it should be very interesting. Please come, attend, find out what the tax does not go to councilman or the mayor. People say, you guys steal all my money. No, we don't even see the money. We don't touch the money. Right, Mr. Galetti?
Absolutely.
All right, so please, I invite everyone to come, attend, because 2017 will be a busy year. You will get a speaker every month, once a month, and very interesting speakers. So I said, tonight is my last night. It was a pleasure to work with you guys. Anthony, you're very good company. Nice guy, Anthony. Yeah, nice smile. Somebody will take my place, also is a pleasant person, and I'm sure they will do an excellent job. So this was 3 months on the council. My next mission will be January 3rd at the Board of Education. So I'll try to do something good over there. And I want to say each one of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a prosperous New Year. So I'll see you soon, guys. Enjoy. Thank you.
Mr. Churdo.
Good luck, Frank. In the past year I've been here, I've had a different landscape on both sides. I think I've had the different changes. So hopefully, Dan, hopefully when you're up here, you stay up here. So the landscape stays the same with Keith. DPW, just a little heads up, 3 hydrants were struck and repaired over the last month. 4,500 yards of leaves to date have been picked up. There'll be one more week left of leaf pickup. I believe the Waste Watcher says the 17th is the last day, but it will be extended another week. Water repair on Opal Ave. The parks have been cleaned of leaves. The salter and the plows are all ready to go as soon as need be. And this week, we're supposed to be getting some snow, but I don't think it'll last too long, but we are ready and prepared. Salter, or the salt shed, is full to the top, so we're ready in that aspect. We do have one of our big trucks is down, and it has back at the dealer for mechanical failure for the next couple weeks. In regards to snow shoveling, so everybody should have received one of the nice postcards. Please don't forget, the ordinances are on the back. The biggest change to the ordinance is the no parking when road is covered in snow. It is a $150 fine. Please don't forget, if you're looking for, I guess, more of a diagram of where to shovel and how to shovel, on page 13 of the Waste Watchers book, it does tell you kind of like a little diagram of where you should park, how you should shovel. In regards to hydrants, they're to be shoveled 5 feet around that hydrant, and they're to be shoveled no later than 24 hours after the snow. And that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chertoff. Mr. Burke.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm taking over, well, not taking over, just temporarily taking over for the mayor for the Recreation Department and Fire Department, and I haven't attended a recreation meeting as a liaison, but I do have a small report since I basically live down at the rec center. The 2016-2017 recreation basketball program is moving along. Teams have been drafted. They have been practicing 2 times a week to get ready for the start of the season. I understand 7th and 8th grade has 6 teams, 5th and 6th grade has 6 teams. I believe 3rd and 4th has 8 teams, but they're still looking for coaches in that level. So if you know if anybody wants to volunteer coaching a rec team, please come down to the rec. We're always looking for volunteers. I'd like to thank Penny Forestier for all the hard work she puts into the basketball program. She's a one-person, really one-team person running the whole show down here. And Penny's been involved with the basketball program since 1991, when we originally started back in with the Elmwood Park Basketball Association with the late Mike Meyer and Leo Cullen. So she's been involved all those years. So kudos to Penny. So she's really been involved in really helping the children to learn the game of basketball. The 2016-2017 Recreation Indoor Hockey Program has been holding games Saturday mornings since December 4th. The early session is for the younger boys and girls. That's held from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And the older boys and girls is held from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Like I said, I'd like to give a little thank you for Dave DiStefano and his crew. He has the same crew every single year since that program's been started. Anthony Morales, Joe Leto, Bob and R.J. Calipro, David Rhodes, Nick Merkovic, and of course, young ladies who man the stand. So if you want to come down and watch the kids play a little hockey, come down and get a cup of coffee and watch. It's a lot of running around, a lot of good games, and just make sure you duck when you see the puck heading your way. As far as the fireman report, I attended my first fire chief's meeting this past Monday. Understand it was Mike Presser's last meeting as the fire chief of Elmwood Park. The new fire chief of Elmwood Park will be Bill Shadwell. The installation dinner for the new chief, assistant chief, battalion chiefs, officers of the Elmwood Park Fire Department will be held on the last Saturday in January. The date for the installation dinner is January 28th. I believe they're usually held at the VFW. Elmwood Park Fire Department also reported that all repairs and maintenance of most of all the trucks at the department have been completed with the exception of one truck. They were just waiting for a report on that truck. Also, the chief gave us a little rundown, number of calls that they made in the past, and they've been fairly busy calls. They had 5 calls, 2 calls from mutual aid calls from local municipalities, 1 call from Garfield to back up and assist in the fill station, 1 call from Fairlawn to assist with a trailer fire. The Elmwood Park also received 2 calls for 2 structure fires in Elmwood Park and a motor vehicle accident involving a family with 2 children. The personnel of Elm Park Fire Department had to use the Jaws of Life to remove these children, 2 children from the wreckage, and the 2 children were rushed to the hospital. I understand the Elm Park Fire Department personnel were commended by the police department on their handling of the emergency situation at the scene of the motor vehicle. So kudos to the fire department and the personnel on that on hand there. Also like to add on a personal note, I became a grandfather again this past Saturday, 3rd time now, so I got an early Christmas gift. My 3rd grandson, Santiago, was born, like I said, Saturday, 6:13 in the morning, and 7 pounds, 7 ounces. And I would like to also wish everybody a Merry Christmas and have a healthy and Happy New Year. Thank you, Mayor.
Excellent report. Congratulations, Keith. Grandchildren are special, as we all know. My only concern was that if we could have only skipped the kids to get to them. But you can see by the smile that it's a great thing. Mr. Giblin?
No report.
No report. Mrs. John Jimingalo?
So the next board.
I tried to make it French.
The next Board of Ed meeting is this next Tuesday, the 20th, 6:30 for a work session, 8 PM for the public. I met with our CFO this morning just to go over the status of our expenses and revenues and the budget as a whole, and we look like we're in pretty good standing with our initial assessed projections. And we'll be looking, as I spoke to him and our clerk earlier in the month, to do our budget hearings end of January or beginning of February for our 2017 budget. Fire company number 4 drove by District 8 yesterday, so it was nice because I got to see all the kids ran outside when they saw Santa. My kid initially started crying, but then she got excited. So it was a nice thing that the fire department does for our kids, and thank you guys for doing that. Frank, it was nice seeing you on the council, and I'll be seeing you at the Board of Ed. So I look forward to continuous working relationship with you. You're a stand-up guy, I don't have anything bad to say about you publicly. So but no, Frank, you give your heart to the community, so I look forward to working with you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and wishing everybody all the best.
How do I follow that?
End it.
Frank, actually, I'd like to congratulate you, and I congratulate the council majority for picking you. You did a great job filling in. Thank you very much. I wish you well going over to the Board of Ed. Keith, I'd also like to congratulate you on becoming a grandfather again. That's awesome. And on the Board of Health, everybody who is a registered cat or dog owner has already received their renewal in the mail. Those of you who are not registered with us and have a pet, it is up to you to come to the Borough Hall and get your dog and cat licensed. All dogs and cats that licenses they expire on December 31st. There's no more ending in January or June, or everybody's now ends on December 31st going forward. All dogs and cats must be vaccinated prior to November 1st, 2017. They must be vaccinated to get their license. Also, if anybody fails to register their cat or dog by January 31st, 2017, there will be a $20 late fee. No exceptions. There's been enough forewarning. You've received them notices. It's also been posted in the community news, so there will be no exceptions. Nobody will be coming into the borough clerk's office complaining, saying, I didn't get this or I didn't get that. You've heard it here now twice. You've seen it in the community news. So please, it's up to you to make sure that your dog or cat is registered and licensed by January 31st. Mayor, that's it.
Thank you, Joe. Mr. Vancino?
Yes, Mayor. A couple of law enforcement items. A couple of weeks ago, our police department made 3 Narcan saves in one evening, within about 3 hours of each other. And I think over the course of the year, we probably responded to about 20 overdoses, more or less. And I guess when I read that, the one thing that was really, when I read the chief's report to us, it's just striking how this occurs in different settings, whether it's in the home or in a car parked over on the side of a road or in a retail establishment. And it just brings out that this is a severe problem in our country. And I went and looked up some statistics, and approximately 78 people die every day from an overdose in the United States. In Maine alone, in 2014, 208 people died of an overdose. Now, this Narcan, it's like a miracle drug. There's really no negative impact for using it. If you use it incorrectly on somebody not having an overdose, there's no ill effects. Reports seem to say that, well, that just encourages folks from, to use again and overdose again. But with these statistics, overdoses are starting to surpass auto fatalities in terms of deaths in the United States. So hopefully by using this Narcan, it gives these folks an opportunity to seek help and seek treatment, because we have a devastating problem in this nation with opiate addiction. In the consent agenda, Resolution 423-16, drive sober or get pulled over. I'm going to mention a couple more statistics. Impaired driving kills 10,000 in the United States every year and costs $37 billion annually. 29% of fatalities in New Jersey are alcohol-related. So over this holiday period where we have social gatherings, people tend to want to celebrate over the holidays. Enforcement will be increased with the hope that it'll reduce impaired driving and thus translate into save lives. So just be careful and over this holiday period, and think about not only yourself, your family, but others who are out on the road over the holiday season. On the zoning board, we had a planning board meeting last night, and we had no applications. We really just talked about the schedule for next year, but we had a summary of applications that went to the zoning official that were permitted use. And so it simply took our zoning official to look at the application, conclude that it was a permitted use, a like use, and it was simply a form letter that went to the business owner to move a new business in town. So I think that continued CO really had a big impact in our borough. There were about 5 over the course of the last 6 months. So that's a positive change in the process. Earlier in the meeting, you heard we had minutes from a joint library board governing body meeting. At our last work meeting, the council decided to select 3 of us, Councilman Cherto, Councilman Dombrowski, and myself, to work with the library board on the capital project. I believe the library board is meeting on Monday evening, and hopefully they will decide the same thing and pick 3 of their folks to work, and we'll put together a project committee to meet more frequently and to plan and execute the project under the library board's guidance. Just checking off my box here. Frank, thank you for filling the spot for the last quarter. It was great working with you again, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
At the Board of Education. And just finally, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Stay safe and stay warm in this weather. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Fonsino. Just expanding on Mr. Fonsino's report with the planning board, last night we had a veteran of 35 years retire, Mr. Ron Vicari, and Ron's been there a long time. I served with him some 30 years ago, and smart man, and he's paid a lot of attention to the planning board and to residents. I think he was misunderstood a lot of times when people felt he was going overboard but in the work meetings, but he was actually protecting those people, trying to make their public meeting go much smoother. So we want to thank him for his time, and I hope he enjoys whatever he's going to do going forward. And to Frank, I want to say to you, thank you very much for coming back the 3 months you were here. We needed that stability in the wake of everything that has gone here, and there's no exception to experience in a situation that we are in making decisions for the public out there. But thank you very much. And I really enjoyed the last 3 months with you.
Thank you.
On a personal note. My pet peeve last year was fire hydrants. And it's going to be this year, I'm sure Mr. Work is going to pick up on it. But just like to remind you that it's virtually impossible for a fire department to clear out all these fire hydrants. And that's why we have an ordinance that states that if you have a fire hydrant on your property, that you are responsible for it. Now, you might think that's unfair, but think about this. There's a fire, and your fire hydrant that's right in front of your house, the fire people cannot get to it, and your house burns down, and a possible loss of life. Or if your neighbor's house is burning, or 2 houses down, you have the fear of that house catching fire, no water for the firemen to put the fire out, and your house catches on fire. So let's not be stubborn about this. I practice what I preach. In our neighborhood, we have 3 snow blowers, 10 homes. We take care of 10 homes. The people that don't have the snow blowers, we manage to help them all out. So if you have a snow blower, excuse me, and you're 6 houses down the road, and you could see that the corner lot that has the fire hydrant doesn't have a snow blower, go down there, help them out. That wake is large, especially on the corner from the snow plows. Get it opened up, and it'll be serve us all for the best. Mr. Casmart, that concludes my report.
Mayor, this time you can open the meeting to the public.
Motion to open it to the public?
So moved.
Vansino?
Second.
Work? Is anybody in the public here to speak? I want to advise you to address your comments to me, please. Anybody care to speak? Your name and your address, please, as if we don't know who you are.
Rich Joinski, 42 Walnut.
If I may, you're going to have to speak loud because that microphone doesn't work, and it's going to have to get loud enough to get over to our
Rich
camera.
Joinski, 42 Walnut Street.
There you go.
On the library, we did have a meeting the other day, Joe was there too, with the technology people from the state. It was pretty productive, but still not what we're looking for, you know, in terms of technology layouts. They're familiar with internet and all that stuff. I did get a chance today to visit the Fort Thorne Library, and I took some pictures for the board. I'll email it to everybody here so you can see what they have in mind. They have about 3 or 4 computer stations there, but it's a much bigger building than ours. And I'll be talking to our other trustees. We have to do the homework ourselves because I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to help us as far as looking into different technology. We have to go visit it ourselves. And as you all know, I sent the Johnson Soils report. I sent through Keith. I think he sent it to you people today to show you the drainage issues there. You should be getting that, right? You sent it out?
I didn't forward it, but I do have it.
Yeah, he will. But the water table there on the low end is about 1.5 to 2 foot below the lot. So I'm going to recommend that, and I was with Scott, that we abandon the idea of doing, to recharge the surface water into the ground system. If we can maybe raise that into the parking lot, put a little retaining wall there, and go to the back street there, by Lee Street, you know, on the other side of the library where all the drainage works. Even if it's a zero pipe, zero pitch, we can make it work. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Chewinski. Anyone else care to speak? Your name and address, please?
Paul Roberts, 260 Washington Ave. 2 things. One, is it possible that the mayor and council can look into repaving River Drive from 46 to Loki Street? Because I drive it on almost every day, and it's smooth going up to 46 from Garfield, but over here, it's nothing. You're gonna bottom out your car if you got a low car or do damage. So maybe we can look into doing that. Also too, on the boulevard in the apartments, is there a way we can get better lighting up there? Because you go up there at night, it's dark. You come out of the apartments
where the houses start, and it's nice and bright. We want our residents to be safe. Unfortunately, with the lighting up there in the apartments, it's not. It's pretty much dark up there.
Mr. Roberts, are you talking about the street lighting or
Correct.
in turn?
Street lighting on the boulevard in the apartments from where Walgreens ends to the first set of houses. You go up there at night, it's kind of dark. And you can't see people walking through unless you put your high beams on. So I would kind of, I believe that's a county road, maybe we can contact the county and see what we can do about this.
Can, Mr. Kaczmarek, we could look into that?
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you.
Anybody else care to speak? Do we have the 5-minute sign ready?
I was gonna ask how much time is left in the tape. You guys really talked a lot. We okay with the tape? Okay. I don't think you have to worry about it. I'm sure you can pick me up with my voice. Tom Conboy, 135 Tooele Avenue. If I could, Mayor, through you, I'd just like to, as a former councilman, Councilman Boncino brought up something very important tonight about how the ordinance is working quite well, as we all knew it would, regarding similar like business, same floor plan, and so forth. And I really think I just want to give again kudos to former Councilman Chewinski, who for 7 months fought through to get that resolution through, that ordinance, through a veto. And even though we had the majority, one member kept voting no. I understood his position and respected, but we see how successful it's been since that's been put in place. So I'm glad that's still working, and Councilman Chewinski championed that and worked hard on that for 7 months. Even with a majority, you thought it would have been an easy sale. Question, Mr. Mayor, before I go into some other things. I noticed tonight, I had the impression it was going to go through, the shortened schedule for the council meetings. That wasn't on here tonight. Did I miss it somehow?
It's a reorganization meeting, agenda item.
Oh, so I'm sorry, so it's going to be at the reorg?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if it's okay, then I would like to comment on tonight, Mayor, then, and instead of ruining the organization day, if that's okay, since it's going to happen anyway. I'm here to warn you, you will be visited by 3 ghosts, all named Mulder. I mean that respectfully. You know, the mayor and I, as we all know, had our turmoil in the last, something we probably both wish we could do over. My wife always described it as like the older son now who thinks he knows more than the father, and they have odds and battles. I guess that was a nice way of putting it. But I did learn a lot from the mayor, and I guess some of my colleagues might be forgetting some of the things that he taught us. So I also know, if I'm not mistaken, which I think was a good move, you were also going to give yourselves a raise this year. I understand you pulled that out, and that was decided not to go with. If I'm wrong, Mayor, you-
I'm sorry, I will have to correct you. You can't say you guys. I was never in favor for that.
I'm sorry.
So just,
Well, I understand it was discussed
that's better.
of a raise this year, but that had been pulled and changed. So I did some homework. You know, one thing I heard last week at the work meeting, which I found very odd, was that it was stated, again, Mr. Mayor, it was stated, there was some discussion going back and forth. You could always check the tape. You guys can argue over who owns ownership for it. But a comment was made, it's time for us to change this town and give it a new look. And someone said, I guess you don't want to do that. I kind of thought, at least the Republicans thought the town was going pretty well for such a long time. I've done some homework, and since this will be brought up on January 5th, correct? So, back when the Democrats had the majority, the Republicans tore them apart when they tried to do something very similar. Democrats, closed window to the public. Borough business on hold. Republican councilmen wrote, all of them commented on how we can't even manage the 4 meetings we have now to get all of our borough business done. How can we lose a meeting every month? That was by Robert Desai. I could read the whole thing.
What year was that?
Well, it doesn't matter what year it was.
Well, you're saying
Yeah, well, 2007.
Republicans, I'm a Republican, I wasn't
Well,
part of that.
2007, I thought you
Thank
would be up to date on what your Republicans have been doing, but 2007, I wasn't
Predated me.
involved. I wasn't involved back then either. but
I just wanted,
I
for
can't-
the record, so we know what
2007.
years, thank
Well,
you.
I would think your elders, some of them who were here might tell you this stuff. Democrats tried to do the same thing, and they were ripped apart by the Republicans. I have former Councilwoman Traversi, her comments, even Councilman Chalinsky is commented in here in the Inform. You know, I learned this from the mayor. Hold on to all this good stuff. You never know when you want to use it against yourself. Frank, again, I know it's through the mayor. A couple of good comments tonight. So if you decide to run for mayor, a couple of good comments. Stand-up guy, love working with you. He might be your opponent.
I'm gonna ask you to be my campaign manager.
I'm ready to go. But, Frank, we might be running against each other, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. But my point is, again, all this great literature that you put out, especially the mayor. The mayor was quoted, and this is all the stuff he taught us on how to serve the people. So you want to cut it down to one less meeting. You have a 10-minute time limit here. That should be taken away. The Tom Conboy ordinance or rule or whatever, that should be removed. Because if you're only going to have one meeting, you shouldn't limit it to 10 minutes. Now, I know you talked about, I think it was the councilwoman, through you, Mayor, who brought up the idea of letting them talk maybe at the end of a work meeting. But those meetings run pretty late. What time did you guys get out of here last week? 1:30? 1:15?
12:45.
Well, so, you know, here, just a little word from the past, but maybe, and I don't mean it negatively, but maybe, you know, you hear people say, oh, from the grave? The mayor said, we've had over 5 decades, 50 years of having 4 meetings a month. He's only been gone a short time, and the Republicans are already reversing so much of the things that he believed in and everything he did, and how to serve the people of Elmwood Park. So now you're going to meet one less time a month. Will you be reducing your pay? I see it's going to be the same, because back then, the Democrats ran on the same thing, and the mayor said, and they want to give themselves, the mayor wrote about how they wanted to give themselves a raise. So if you're going to meet less, you should get less.
It's finally nice to see that you're agreeing with the mayor, Tom.
That's why I said you'd be visited by 3 ghosts, all named, and I'm not being sarcastic. I, like all of you, believe it or not, I miss them. Whether you believe that or not. There's the holiday season. Even the Grinch found his heart in the end. Meaning me. I'm not being dumb, I'm just being. So, I think you should really reconsider this, because I just want to question. I checked, and I could be wrong. I love it when you guys correct me. When at a work meeting was it discussed among all of you, except for Mr. Work, to make this change?
What's your question, Tom?
At what work meeting was it on the agenda to be discussed openly about the change?
I think it came in council reports.
Council reports at a work meeting? At a work meeting?
Yeah.
There's minutes on
I'm not
it?
sure I understand.
Wait a
It
minute,
was last week.
maybe it was the
No,
3 of us and that.
no, last week you voted to make the change. Because last week I heard you all were spoken to individually or in a group, but not all together.
Tom, where do you get your information from?
From last week's work meeting.
Through you, Mayor, he's referring to my comments at the work session. There were 2 council members and the mayor in my office where we had an impromptu meeting about this, and then I had individual discussions myself with individual council members, and I spoke to the balance of the council.
All right, so we were at the same meeting. Right, so, just checking. Okay, so, because at that meeting, your Councilman Dombrowski brought up a lot of good points about the public and so forth. And there was, the tension in that room was, when that topic came up, was intense. Okay? Even to the point where the clerk got frustrated. I said, look, I'll just take it off. And then you accused them of just being grandstanding in front of the papers. However, you never really had a work meeting where it was discussed, vetted, so everyone could hear everybody's opinion until last week. Now, I know listen, this clerk, we're lucky to have this man. He's one of the best clerks probably in all of the state. So, and God knows when I served, I pushed against even the mayor's will to give him a lot of things that he does today, because I think he's the right guy for the job. So it's not me picking on the clerk. I'm just talking about it. It was never done in an open session to be vetted completely other than for it to be voted on. So I really think you guys should rethink this. Think about it while you're on your Christmas break. Stick with the meetings, okay? And if you're not going to stick with the meetings, I'm going to continue coming back anyway, but you should really go back. If you want to borrow my literature, you can have it. You got to give it back, though. This is like archived. This is good stuff. So just think about that, how you all stood by, Republicans, when the Democrats tried to do it, how outraged we all were at the time, all these different council persons at the time, including the mayor, so, as well as that. So I just want to again briefly bring up the Rec Commission Advisory Board. Last week, you guys, it wasn't even on the agenda. I know a couple of times the clerk tried to rein it in. You didn't have a full rec on the agenda, a full rec scope of meeting for that to be on your agendas. You guys got taken by surprise with some of the topics. Do you know you spent almost an hour and a half on just rec issues? Okay? And I kept hearing in the meeting, well, and the clerk again made me very happy because he gave out the rec trust fund account number, over $600,000 in the rec trust. I'm assuming that includes the...
It does, and Mayor, we're at the 10-minute mark, just for the record.
Now you're gonna get that way to cut me off, huh? So
I'm doing the job that you're telling me I'm doing so well, so.
That's why I threw your bone.
Boom. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Plus he interrupted me a couple of times to correct me that I wasn't wrong. You know, I heard in the meeting folks saying, "Oh, we should take it from the trust. We should take it from the trust. We should take it from the trust." You know, so you know, we're all taking this money from the trust. I mean, even I think you need new chairs back there. I was shocked when I heard for $16,000. Man, that seemed like a lot of money. We're going to remodel the back room. You're going to meet one less time a month. Cherry wood. I heard a contractor say that's expensive stuff. Cherry wood.
It's not cherry wood, it's pine that is stained cherry.
Cherry, okay. I did hear cherry wood, though. You didn't say stained and all that, so you got me. But still, you're making all those changes for one less meeting, for a room that even the public doesn't even see unless they come to a work meeting, and so forth. I do think you need new chairs. I thought that when I was there. I was hoping I would fall off and I can get a lawsuit. But you definitely need that. But you know, this room needs to be painted. We have chairs here with zip ties around them. We should at least then spend $16,000 to paint this room, who people do see, Mr. Mayor, and also get the chairs that interlock. I know they're going to fix this problem, but we should get those chairs.
But Tom, the back,
Cushion on it too would be nice.
we have 5 minutes. Tom, the back room is used for work meetings, and you're there often.
Unless,
You're there often, so you do see it, and the public does see it.
Work meetings.
I'm sorry, one less public. You're going to have one less public for the people to come to. Are you going to put a lounge chair in there for me then?
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
real nice, with the heated seat maybe?
Absolutely.
Little cup on the side?
Yes.
But the rec, I hope you really will take a serious look at that. You know, that commission, when it was a commission, it ran, even the mayor used to say, it was one of the best running boards. And they would always come to the mayor and council with approval for projects, always. Back when Mr. DiLorenzo was the chairman, Mr. Burke, whoever it might have been. They came with their plan, with their ideas. They never just, you know, went into it. You guys kind of did it at the last meeting. Well, that came out of the rec. We'll take that out of the rec. We'll take that out of the rec. So
In regards to rec items, right? That you, because before you started speaking about taking stuff out of the rec, and then you switched to talking about the back room, which is not out of the rec, so.
No, it's not.
I
know.
I'm clarifying it for the.
Okay.
And I voted no on the back room, Tom.
Yes, you did.
Likewise,
You voted
I
no.
abstained.
Look at the dissension already.
Well, no, it's just so you're painting a picture, and I want people to know,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want the picture
Exactly.
painted.
One person at a time, please.
You guys.
Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember at one point you advocated us moving from the
Never.
commission.
Oh, advocated?
Yeah.
No, you got me confused with different councilmen.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor, please.
Okay.
Unless you want to hit that emergency button down there, I'm not moving this podium if you're going to say I advocate. Even Councilman Lencino right now, I think he's a little dumbfounded by that comment. I never advocated for that. I
Okay.
argued until you know, when the mayor told me he would watch me drop dead right here, that's a moment where you might see me drop dead if you try to accuse me of advocating that should be changed over. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Before I left office, I said that day would come, that change would be made, okay? Especially that August meeting, Bob, you were, Mr. Mayor, you were here, when Mr. Panagiano didn't even vote for open space money, when he told us he found drugs in the park up there, which have still yet to be turned in. Okay, so, let's leave it at that.
I got the wrong person.
Yeah, definitely the wrong person, because I believe that commission ran very well. And no matter who was on it, for both sides.
Okay.
So, I have some other things, but I want to thank you for letting me extend the time limit. I want to wish you all very wonderful holidays. Oh, I do have one last question, if I can. Only because the councilwoman mentioned that she had, through you, Mr. Mayor, she had a meeting with Mr. Rigatano recently. How much money is in our town's reserve?
This is John Domenico.
I can't give you a current,
Still around 2 million, 3.5?
about 2.4, I'd say. I don't want to go over because then I don't want to make up a number.
Okay, it's still over 2 million, right? So, and you're gonna be talking about the taxes again. I brought this up last year. You had a little more than that this time last year, and you still have about 2 million. I believe in the rainy day thing, but the rainy day, you guys still have money. Let's try to come in zero this year. Maybe we will because we have this big election coming up for mayor, I don't know. But,
I don't think we look at it politically for an election. At least I don't, as the
well,
budget chair.
well, let's,
I'm telling you where I'm coming from. I can't
Well,
speak for everybody else.
Councilwoman, I definitely applaud you for what you're saying, but I think if you look at some of the informs and drink it out every 4 years, we might be
That
close to
predated
zero.
me.
Okay?
Thank
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr.
I know.
Conboy.
I know I said at the work meeting, I was gonna turn in my resume for any board positions. I wanna thank those of you who reached out to me. If there's 4 of you who believe I belong on a board, let me know and I will submit my resume.
Thank you, Mr. Conboy. Anybody else care to speak from the audience? If not, I'd like to close the portion to the audience and a motion to adjourn.
Second.
This is John Domenico.
I'll second.
Without the French accent, and Mr. Dombrowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good job.